So my name is Jessie Huisinga. I'm a faculty member here at the University of Kansas Medical Center. My research now focuses primarily on understanding the walking and balance problems that are experienced by persons with MS. And I investigate those problems using motion capture and using movement sensors in order to quantify exactly what the movement deficits are so that we can target therapies that are appropriate to help individuals. So what we're trying to do is use wireless motion capture sensors and create an assessment system that's specific for patients with MS that will measure deficits that are very important for that population. And using the technology, we can create an assessment tool that is sort of universally appropriate for measuring changes in walking and balance in MS. So imagine that you're walking along and you step on something slippery, okay? Your brain has to get the information from your feet that you just step on something slippery, and then your brain tells your feet to move in a certain way so that you don't fall down. There's a delay there where the information goes from the feet to the brain and the brain to the muscles so that you respond appropriately. That response is delayed in people with MS. And so we're actually sort of mimicking that experience in the laboratory by measuring the sensory motor delays, measuring how quickly their muscles turn on and off. That measurement we feel is very important as it translates to the relationship with other gait and balance deficits. I am inspired to do rehabilitation research because it has such a direct impact on people's day-to-day lives.
So my name is Sharyl Fyffe-Maricich, and I'm an assistant professor here at the University of Pittsburgh. And my lab is really interested in understanding the mechanisms of myelin repair, and that's what we're really interested in terms of MS research. Trying to understand the different molecules and signaling pathways that are important for the development of those cells called oligodendrocytes, the cells that make that fatty coating called myelin that degrades in patients with MS. We're interested in trying to understand what pushes those cells to start making new myelin. And then we're also interested in what allows those cells to keep making myelin so that that myelin sheath is of good quality or is of an appropriate thickness. And so over the last decade, a lot of new clinical trials have been started and a lot of information has come out, and we know a whole lot more now about the process of myelin repair. And we know that at least in healthy people and in patients with MS, at least early in the disease, myelin repair does happen. And so what we need to do is to try and find strategies to restore that myelin repair in patients with MS. You know, MS is a disease really that's all around us. My next door neighbor has MS. One of my colleagues just down the hall has MS and is in a wheelchair. And so having those patients around me all the time is really very motivating, so that I can remember that, you know, these things that seem so small right now that I do in the lab, I really hope that at some point that they will be translated and they will be useful to patients who have MS.
So my name is Ellen Mowry. I am an assistant professor of neurology at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland. And I'm a researcher and clinician working with people and for people with multiple sclerosis. So my work focuses on risk and prognostic factors in multiple sclerosis, and I'm specifically interested in factors that can be modified to make a difference for people with the disease. To date, a lot of my work has focused on vitamin D, which we have known for some time is a risk factor for MS. In addition, I'm starting to focus more on other aspects of diet to see how various diets may impact the disease, and also to see how diet and the bacteria in our gut might work together to play a role in MS. And so diet and vitamin D, exercise, these sorts of things are exciting because patients can take some of those issues up on their own. And if we can show that certain diets are very helpful for MS, then I think patients have a lot of control over that and can make really positive lifestyle changes that will impact their disease in an excellent way. What I find fulfilling about doing MS research is that when I interact with my patients in the clinic, I can tell them that I'm working every day to try to make their disease go away, or at least to make it better. I'd like to tell people with MS that we're with you. We don't walk in your shoes every day. We don't know from a first-hand experience for the most part, you know, what you're living with, but we see what you're bringing to us, we're inspired by you, and we're working hard to make a difference to make MS go away.